Martell Holt has been at the center of drama for years, but this moment with his mother Marlene changes everything. For a long time, fans have watched Martell argue with Melody, clash with cast members, and go back and forth with Arian. We've seen him dragged on social media, exposed in headlines, and even called out in courtrooms. But through it all, there was one person who always defended him no matter what, and that was his mother, Marlene Holt. She was his shield, his biggest supporter, the one person who refused to turn her back on him even when the world seemed to. That's why when Marlene looked her son in the eyes and calmly said, "I cannot defend you anymore," it shook everything we thought we knew about Martell's safety net. It wasn't a loud confrontation. Marlene didn't scream, she didn't point fingers, and she didn't shed tears in that moment. Instead, she said it with a calm tone that carried more weight than any dramatic scene on the show. Her quiet words cut deeper than anything Melody ever said during their marriage struggles, deeper than anything Kimmy or Letitia could say in shade, and even deeper than the countless insults fans have thrown at him online. This was different because it came from the one person who was always in his corner. It came from his mother. The internet reacted instantly. Twitter exploded with people gasping in disbelief, and the word, "finally," was trending in different comments as people repeated it over and over. Instagram Lives replayed the clip again and again, with fans pointing out how Martell's face showed shock, embarrassment, and even defeat. People weren't just stunned, they were saying this might be the most important turning point in the entire history of love and marriage Huntsville. If Martell's mother was done, then where did that leave him? For years, Martell has fed off drama. He's been the center of messy divorces, ugly custody battles, explosive arguments, and scandalous relationships. He has been Carlos King's easiest source of headlines because he always provided the chaos without needing much help from production. Martell thrived off attention, whether good or bad. But now, with his mother stepping away, that lifeline seems weaker. Social media didn't waste a second pointing it out, with comments flying everywhere like, "If your mama gives up on you, it's a wrap." To understand why this moment cut so deeply, you have to look at Marlene's history with her son. She has always stood firm in her defense of Martell, no matter how messy the situation was. When fans said Martell embarrassed Melody by cheating, Marlene softened the blow by saying he was just being himself. When cast members dragged him for being disrespectful, she brushed it off. Through scandals, late-night arguments, and endless tears, Marlene stood by her son with loyalty that never seemed to waver. She was the fortress he could always count on, the person who would fight for him even when everyone else walked away. But this time, her tone changed. Marlene looked at him not with blind loyalty, but with exhaustion. She admitted she was tired of defending behavior she could no longer justify, tired of shielding him from the consequences of his actions, tired of watching him pretend to be the victim when he created so much chaos on his own. And that was the moment that shifted everything. What made it even more shocking was when Marlene openly compared Melody Shari and Arian Curry. She didn't sugarcoat it. She said Melody brought strength. Melody built stability even in chaos. Melody tried to keep her family together and pushed forward with grace even after Martell broke her heart. On the other hand, she described Arian as pure disruption. No soft words, no filters, just raw truth from a mother who could no longer hide what she saw. She told the world that her son's choices in women were the very thing pulling him down, and the internet couldn't believe it. People flooded social media saying things like, "She literally chose Melody over Arian on camera." Martell's reaction in that moment was written all over his face. The man who always tried to appear strong, polished, and in control looked small. For someone who loves suits, cars, and big talk on social media, this was the one thing he couldn't spin. For years, he has leaned on women to shield him. He leaned on Melody during their marriage, letting her carry the weight of their businesses while he chased other things. He leaned on Arian for validation when the world turned on him, even though that relationship was chaotic from the start. And he leaned on his mother Marlene, who constantly defended him against fans, against the cast, and even against Melody. But now, all three of these women have shifted away. Melody walked away and built her empire. Arian is posting subliminals hinting at grudges. And Marlene has drawn a line she cannot step back from. That's why fans are calling this the end of Martell's safety net. The one person who defended him unconditionally has finally said enough. It's not just about family drama, it's about accountability. And Martell's silence after this spoke louder than words. Normally, when fans come at him, Martell rushes to Instagram Live, puffs out his chest, and insists he's still the man he claims to be. Normally, he claps back at everyone, from Melody to Carlos King, if he feels attacked. But this time, he went quiet. No live sessions, no defensive posts, no interviews. His silence revealed just how shaken he really was. This moment also lifted Melody in a powerful way. For years, she has been the target of shade, criticism, and even legal battles. She's been tested by Letitia throwing digs, Destiny flipping on her, and Martell himself dragging her into endless courtroom fights. Through all of it, Melody has tried to rise above and show her strength. And now, with Marlene acknowledging Melody's strength and pointing to Arian as a source of chaos, it felt like a moment of confirmation. Everything Melody has said for years about who she is and what she stood for suddenly rang true in the eyes of the audience. She didn't even have to say a word, Marlene's statement spoke for her. But of course, Arian didn't stay silent. True to her pattern, she jumped online late at night, posting one of her cryptic 4 a.m. messages. She dropped a shady meme about things she let slide in the past and promising that she wasn't letting them slide anymore. Fans immediately started debating who she was talking about, Martell, Melody, or even the fans themselves. Nobody knew for sure, but one thing was clear, she wasn't going to let Marlene's words sit without a response. And if history tells us anything, when Arian posts at 4 a.m., it usually means more chaos is coming. Meanwhile, the other cast members reacted in their own ways. Letitia, who has always had tension with Melody, was reportedly shocked by Marlene's boldness. Marcel smirked in confessionals, enjoying the moment because he loves to see others exposed. Kimmy, the voice of reason, pointed out that sometimes the people closest to you see the same truths the public has been saying for years. And Carlos King? You already know he was grinning behind the scenes because this is reality TV gold. A mother turning on her son, drama spilling into family, and a cast watching in shock, this is the kind of twist you can't script. The bigger question now is, what happens to Martell? With his mother no longer defending him, his situation looks worse than ever. His relationship with Melody is gone. His custody battle is ongoing. His connection with Arian is shaky at best. And now Marlene has drawn a line that cuts him off from the last unconditional support he had. This is why so many fans are saying this moment could be the beginning of his complete unraveling. Think about the pattern. Martell relied on Melody's strength, but she left. He relied on Arian's validation, but even she is throwing shade. He relied on Marlene's defense, but she has given up. That leaves him standing alone in a way he has never been before. And without someone to shield him, Martell is finally being forced to face the reflection he has avoided for so long. The silence around him is telling. Fans are laughing, dragging him, and making memes about even his mama being tired of him. And yet, Martell has no comeback. For someone who thrives on attention, this might be the hardest hit he has taken. Because when your own mother looks at you and says she cannot defend you anymore, the world sees you differently. And so do you. Melody's strength is now undeniable. Marlene's words confirmed what fans have said all along, Melody was the one holding everything together. She was the one putting family first. She was the one who stayed strong while Martell chased distractions. And Arian's role as disruption is clearer than ever, especially now that even Marlene is saying it. This isn't just another storyline. It's a turning point in the history of the show, and maybe in Martell's personal life too. Because if he doesn't change now, he risks losing not only his reputation, but also the last traces of support he still has. And as the world watches, the question remains, Can Martell survive this storm, or has the unraveling already begun?